Hi! Welcome to the Tomlyn Live Facebook. I'm Tabitha Cromer. I'm the marketing manager of Tomlyn, and I have Dr. Kasten here. She's going to be joining us. We have questions today. We're going to focus mainly on cats, but if you have additional questions regarding your dog or maybe your horse, definitely send it to us. And if for some reason we don't get to it today while we're talking, we'll definitely follow up with you because we want to make sure you get all your information. So I personally have 2 kitty cats that I've adopted from the Humane Society, and I'm a huge fan of cats, animals in general, but I absolutely love cats. And Dr. Kasten, you want to tell them what kind of animals you have?
Sure. I have a very cute cat named Nabisco. Hopefully we can get a picture of him up at some point. He's orange and white, and he's about 6 years old and spoiled rotten. And definitely helps me write some of the blog posts for Tomlyn and other things like that. So you might see him around. He's a really good boy. I also have a border collie puppy at home, and he's 7 months old and very addicted to the game of French.
How cute!
But for those of you horse folk out there, I certainly can connect with you guys. I grew up in a hunter-jumper barn. Rode competitively until I went to college, and then have been riding kind of recreationally since. So it's been really good.
Awesome. Good deal. Glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Tabitha.
Yes. And thank you, Sally, for showing up. We see that you're watching, so thank you very much. If you have any questions, let us know. So we'll start off with some of the questions that we already have gotten through Facebook.
Absolutely.
So we'll cover those, and then we'll try to get to additional questions.
Sounds great.
So the first question is, this cat owner's noticed that their cat has started dragging his legs across the carpet. So what does this behavior mean?
Yeah, that sounds like it could be quite a variety of problems. And certainly anytime you see anything abnormal, we always encourage you to follow up with your veterinarian. But that could be a behavioral problem. It could be an orthopedic problem. Maybe it hurts, and he's straining to defecate because it hurts and he can't quite do it right, and things are maybe getting stuck because it hurts. So those 2 thoughts are what immediately come to mind when we're seeing a situation like that. Certainly parasites could be another problem, kind of creating some of those gastrointestinal issues that might make him strain to defecate like that. Like I said at the beginning, the best source of information would be your veterinarian. They know your cat the best and can really analyze the situation better than I can do over this medium. But certainly if the problem continues, I would absolutely follow up with your vet. But it could be behavioral, it could be orthopedic, it could be digestive.
Awesome. Well, good. Well, I know Sally just had a question. And it was regarding her kitty cat. It's very vocal, likes to talk, but especially, and I think if I read it correctly, it just went off the screen, but around the time that she's going to use the litter box. So maybe before the litter box or after the litter box. Is that just the cat communicating, hey, like some little kids, hey, I want potty, or is it something that maybe they're trying to tell us?
Yeah, it sounds. I wish it were something as simple as, hey, Mom, I'm doing my business like a good cat. Unfortunately, I'm a bit concerned that it might not be. Cats, one of the common signs of a pain or discomfort can be vocalization in cats. Urinary issues are a huge problem in cats. They can be infectious in origin, they can be behavioral in origin, they can be stress mediated. A variety of things can cause these urinary issues and cause cats to strain in the litter box. One of my biggest concerns for your cat, since they are vocalizing, is that it might be a painful process for them. So I certainly, we have some products such as the Natural Pet Products urinary tract health product. I think we have it over here, maybe. No, urinary tract irritations. That's that may be able to help, but I certainly would follow up with your veterinarian. There might be quite a bit more going on than we realize. Maybe it's just a simple just, hey, Mom, I gotta go. And that would be great if that was the situation. One question I may have for you that might help guide your conversation, either follow-up questions or with your veterinarian, is if there have been any changes to your household that might cause some of the stress that can cause urinary tract signs. That can be a big trigger for those kind of vocalizations associated with the litter box.
Yeah, in fact, Rita just had a question, thank you for submitting it, where they just moved into a new place and it seems like the cat doesn't always want to use the litter box. So do you think it might be the correlation of moving?
Absolutely. Stress can be a big one. Cats are very finicky. It is their world. We live in it. And any kind of time that there's an environment change, new introduction to the household, that sort of thing, that can cause cats to urinate outside the litter box. Again, there may be more to it. There may be an infectious component. There may be underlying disease process, but a lot of it tends to at least start as behavioral. We have a couple of products here at Tomlyn that might help. We've got a Relax and Calm product. This product contains L-tryptophan, which is the ingredient in turkey that makes you feel sleepy and relaxed after Thanksgiving, as well as chamomile. Again, it kind of that ingredient kind of just chills you out. That might help. Certainly for cats, we give them, it comes in a nice chew form and they think they're getting a treat. 1 chew per 10 pounds of body weight about every 6 hours can really help. Another product that might help reduce your cat's anxiety and stress and hopefully get them urinating back in the litter box, again, is our Natural Pet Products Anxiety and Stress. This product goes right in their water bowl, half a capful, as frequently as you change the water. Very easy to administer, doesn't have any taste, it's got no sugar, no gluten, no alcohol, very, very palatable. It may help. Certainly if the problems are ongoing, I would encourage you to talk to your veterinarian about what's going on, and they may have more specific solutions, but these 2 products might be a great place to start for you.
Wonderful. Good, thank you. Let's see, this is Bonnie, and we will try to catch up to your questions. Bonnie says, all of my children, her babies, were abandoned, abused, or have medical issues. Some of them have chronic URI. What form of L-lysine do you recommend, powder, chews, or gel, or does it even really matter?
Yeah, that's a great question, Bonnie. Thank you so much for asking. For those of you who aren't familiar with the abbreviation URI, Bonnie's talking about an upper respiratory infection, or often that upper respiratory infection can be caused by feline herpes. It's incredibly common. Greater than 80% of cats are affected, especially those that have come from a shelter environment. Those that we find these kittens out by dumpsters sometimes, or all, barn cats, these sorts of starts to life, catteries, those sort of situations. That feline herpes virus is incredibly common in those situations, and lysine is a great way to help reduce viral replication, which helps minimize their clinical signs. To answer your question directly, Bonnie, no, it doesn't matter what form of lysine you give your cat. We're very excited. We have a powder form that's highly palatable. It's kind of got a fishy smell to it that, as you might know, the stinkier the better. Cats tend to like it. We also have a chew, and we're very excited to announce that coming available here in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a L-lysine gel, an immune support gel product. That if you're at all familiar with our hairball remedy, it's very similar in that. That way, it's our maple flavor. What matters about how you give lysine to your cat, rather, is the dose. And so you're going to give 500 milligrams, or it'll be a half a teaspoon of the gel, or 1 scoop of the powder here, or of 1 chew, at least once per day as a sort of a maintenance dose. And then if your cat's having an acute flare of clinical signs, the goopy eyes, the watering snotty nose, that sort of thing, you'll want to do that twice a day if it's an adult cat.
Awesome.
Hope that helps, Bonnie. Good luck.
Thank you. And we did get a question regarding dust bunnies. And it sounds like what's happening is maybe there's dust bunnies on the floor, and the cat is getting very curious and wanting to eat them, and possibly does eat them. So, any ideas for the dust bunnies?
That's a tricky one. There might be something that's about the smell of the dust bunnies that's attracting your cat to it. It might think it's a cat toy, honestly. Again, it's their world. We live in it. What they think is normal and we think is normal are sometimes two different things. So the easiest solution is clean up the dust bunnies. But a product like our hairball remedy might, if they're really eating a lot of these, might help them pass in the litter box instead of coming out on your kitchen floor or something like that. Otherwise, don't see a huge problem with them. Again, if it's a constant problem, maybe the hairball remedy could help.
I think you're right, because one of my cats, she will find, like, to me, it's kind of like the dust bunny, but it's also maybe her fur or my other cat's fur that's collected on the side and behind the door and things like that. And I've noticed that she will go and eat it, and I'll have to try to grab it out of her mouth so she won't inherit hairball.
Yeah.
But you're right. What I have tried to do with that is, if I've seen her eat it, is give her the hairball remedy.
I think that's a really great solution. Obviously, taking it away as a risk or as a problem would be the best. Cleaning your house. I know we're all busy. I'm always all over the place, being quite busy, so I certainly get that it's not a perfect situation. But the hairball remedy could help. If it really is an ongoing problem, again, certainly couldn't hurt the next time your cat's in for their wellness exam to mention it to your veterinarian.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Another question that we have is, do cats get allergies? I know a lot of us have allergies. Unfortunately, really my biggest allergy are cats. I'm not going to get rid of my cats.
Yeah.
I'm just going to deal with it. So that's a good question, if they have allergies.
Yeah, we do see allergies in cats. I would say they're less common than in dogs. The most common type of allergy, if you see your cat licking excessively, grooming, maybe getting some raw spots, things like that, I absolutely would do something about fleas. They are the most common cause for cats to overgroom or have a skin irritation like that may appear to be allergies. Certainly your veterinarian can help you with appropriate flea prevention and control, including taking care of your house or your environment to minimize that risk. Beyond that, they can have seasonal allergies. Again, it's less common than dogs, but we do have a skin and itch formula for cats. The natural pet products, homeopathic, all-natural remedy. This product, again, just goes in the water, half a capful once a day. Give it about 30 days, and maybe that'll help solve the problem with allergies.
Awesome. Good. Well, we do have another question from Rita. Thank you. Her cat Elvis is a purebred Persian and gets a lot of mats besides brushing. Is there anything that she can do to prevent matting?
To prevent matting? I would think making a relationship with a good groomer, they might be able to take down some of those mats.
Yeah, it's interesting because one of my cats, she's, I would say, probably half Persian, more the long hair, and she'll get mats around like the tail area and the hind legs. And I do try to brush her. I try to be a good mom, but it doesn't always help. So one thing I've just noticed is as soon as I see the mat, I just try to immediately cut it out. So then that way it doesn't keep growing and growing and growing. Yeah,
one thing that does kind of concern me when I hear about mats and cats is that they aren't grooming as well as they should be. And that certainly, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, it can be a sign of pain. Maybe their joints aren't quite as flexible as they used to be. Arthritis is a hugely underappreciated problem in our cats. And so maybe they just can't get there.
Right.
Get back there and groom as easily. So that's one thought that comes to mind. Again, working with a groomer, you maybe sound crazy to give a cat a bath, but really there are some groomers out there that can do a great job with cats. Some of them focus on it. So they can help you out there. Certainly your vet can check to see if there is an arthritis issue or an otherwise underlying medical issue that's causing them not to want to groom as much. And certainly we can address that if that's present.
Okay, good. We have another question from Jackie. Thank you. Let's see, the cat pees right outside of our box 99% of the time. But if we go to a friend's house or a hotel, she pees in our box every single time, never outside. So could that be a behavior?
I think so. It sounds like because she will use a litter box in the right situation, that does sound smack of a behavioral issue to me. One thing that might help, she might not like the litter you're using at home. So you can work with your local pet store to find a different kind of litter. That might make a difference. Clean the litter box more often. A lot of us, guilty as charged, don't clean the litter box twice a day. For a lot of cats, they're really picky. They want their pristine, clean bathroom. Yes. And so if that's not your litter box behavior, you might want to give it a go. That might help. There's a variety of litter boxes. Most of the veterinary behaviorists out there will say that the litter boxes that are easily found are not big, usually are too small. And the ones with the huts, like if you're using a hut, your cat might not like that at home, because if you think about it, it could concentrate the smell of the cat urine. So try taking the lid off if you have a litter box with a lid. Those tips would be all ones that I would think of. Again, the MPP, anxiety, and stress might help.
And I think, too, it depends if you have just more than one cat. So maybe this particular cat's trying to tell you something. Or
doesn't like his sibling. He doesn't
want
to share a bathroom with his sibling.
Yes.
A good rule of thumb is for the number of cats that you have one more litter box, at least, than the number of cats. So I have one cat, I have 2 litter boxes. So.
Yeah, and in fact, I go to Walmart and they have the 18-gallon. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's an 18-gallon storage unit. It's actually only $4, and I just cut a little hole so they can hop in and hop out. But they love it. And I do have one of those cats that it needs to be very pristine, very clean, and I have to make sure that it's very clean on the inside. She'll go use it, and then I have to clean it out again. So I would recommend even like a really big litter box.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what Tabitha was saying. A lot of veterinary behaviorists recommend those large tubs that you can buy at Walmart. Some of those underbed boxes, those types of things make really great litter boxes. The ones that you can find at the pet stores are great for small cats, but if your cat's of any size, they're just too small.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Finicky cats, man. It's their world. We live in it. Got to make them happy.
We have another question from Dawn. Dawn says that my son's cat is a huge food beggar and would eat anything. Any ideas on how to stop this?
That's a great question, Dawn. Thank you. The first idea that comes to mind for you and your cat is to make it a game. Make him work for his food, and maybe he'll be a little bit less of a chow hound. There's a whole variety of food puzzles that you can get out there. One of my favorites is a ball that you put their food right in, and then the cat has to spin it around to get his kibble out. That's a great one. Again, using an underbed box that you can get at your local Mega Mart, and cut some slits in it so that he has to kind of paw through it. Make it a game, and maybe he'll stop begging that way. He might be hungry.
Yeah.
A lot of times those feeding guidelines at the back of those pet food, Calvin cat foods are very, very general and might not be actually meeting his needs. And
so maybe ask the vet.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. The next time you take him in, you can talk to your veterinarian about making sure his nutrition is right and you're meeting his needs.
Yeah, and maybe even protein, like finding
exactly
got protein.
The right protein balance, and yeah.
Awesome.
Good luck.
All right, another question that we got from Jessie is, I have a farm cat that goes, hold on. It's hard for me to read this. Let's see.
No worries.
Gotten coccytis apparently from cattle.
Uh-oh. Coccidiosis. It looks like we've got coccidiosis. What's the zoonotic risk?
So we probably want to read it so they can...
Yeah, so our question here is, I have a farm cat that's gotten coccidiosis apparently from the cattle. What is the zoonotic risk from livestock other than this parasite? And what can be used as treatment or prevention for a near feral cat that's having diarrhea everywhere? This definitely sounds like you need your veterinarian. This is a complex problem. Coccidiosis, once it's on a farm, can be very difficult to get rid of.
So what is that?
It is a type of parasite. Yep, it's a little tiny parasite. It's pretty prevalent. It can affect cats. It can also affect other species. So there is a zoonotic risk. People can get it. So I certainly would follow up with your veterinarian.
Is it one of those that if one cat gets it, and they share a litter box, let's say, that the other cats could...
Very well. Okay. Anything that has exposure to that litter box, the feces. So for people, wash your hands. If you're in contact with this cat, if you're in contact with this cat's diarrhea, wear gloves, wash your hands. Use a really good environmental disinfectant to help clean up, and I certainly would follow up with your veterinarian.
Okay, great, thank you. We have another great question. Fig, my cat kicks most of the litter out of the box and rolls in it each and every time.
Sounds like fun! Yeah, you get to use your vacuum of choice all of the time. This could be a whole lot of things. Again, litter box behavior. When I hear that he's kicking it out, a very natural cat behavior is to dig in the litter and bury their excrement or their urine. And so I think of that as being maybe the litter box is, again, too small. So going and getting a bigger one or getting some other bin that is a makeshift litter box might be your best bet. Otherwise, again, it could just be behavioral. Like, he could be bored. I think we maybe not all play with our cats as much as we'd like to or need to, and just that's his way of engaging. You might try, in addition to getting him a bigger litter box, just playing with him more and seeing if that helps solve the problem.
We also had Nicole ask that her cat likes to sleep in the litter box. Is that common?
I wouldn't say terribly common. I don't think it's unheard of. It might be her safe space. It might be her space to perch. Cats need places to perch. So if you don't have a lot of places to perch, bookshelves she can jump on, desks. Those kitty condos are great options. I know they can be a little bit expensive, but you can make your homemade version of them out of some things at the hardware store. That might be something she's seeking, is that it's a safe space.
And I'm wondering too if maybe the cat came from a humane society, because when I volunteer at the humane society, I notice a lot of cats will be in their litter box, almost hover like a comfort zone.
Exactly.
So I'm almost wondering if maybe there's a correlation.
A safe space, exactly. That could be. I don't know what the rest of your house looks like, but if there's a lot else going on, they might find that a very safe, quiet, safe space that they can retreat to. So you might consider adding other safe spaces for your cat.
Okay. And Nicole also had a question with a kitten that she has. At night, it continually to meow and it wants attention. So is there anything to do?
That's a tough one. Cats tend to be nocturnal. I know Nabisco likes to wake me up at odd hours of the night.
Yes.
Or I would wear him out.
Yes. Yes.
Again, that human-animal bond that we're all about promoting here at Tomlyn is really play with him. Get him active. So when you see him sleeping during the day, wake him up, play with him, make him work for his food. Those sorts of activities might buy you some peace of mind when you're trying to sleep. Unfortunately, I think nearly any of us who have had cats for any length of time will tell you they tend to like to wake up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
If he can tolerate it and manage his weight safely, he might be hungry. again, I don't know what the nutritional situation is for him, but that can be a reason cats wake. I know my cat wakes me up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Is that they're hungry. If he'll tolerate free feeding, that might be another option for you.
Yeah. And you know what I've learned too is, one, never play with the cat with your hands, because they are predators. They like to pounce. They will bite and claw. So always make sure you have a string or a toy that they can grab. But I've noticed with my cats is if I do play with them really hard at night and wear them out, what I'll also do is brush them really well and help relax them, and then they don't wake me up.
Again, a relax and calm chews. I certainly would have no problem recommending them. You could give your cat one before bed, maybe an hour before bed. Might help you out. Good luck.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of cats get bored and they need entertainment.
They do.
And that's one way that they communicate is, hey, entertain me.
Hey, Mom, play with me.
So we got another question about one of their cats is a big drooler. Is that normal?
Drooling.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind when I hear that is oral health problems. In a perfect world, we all would be brushing our cat's teeth all the time. I don't know that there's too many of us out there that, even veterinarians, unfortunately, that brush their cat's teeth regularly. So I certainly might. That's when you say your cat's drooling all the time. That's where my brain goes. I would look into that with your veterinarian. Your cat may need a dental. There may be much more going on in his mouth than I can appreciate over Facebook Live. Again, check with your veterinarian and good luck.
Awesome. That's good. And we actually have another question corresponding to drooling that when Sharon, and thank you Sharon for your question, when she puts flea medicine on her cat, he actually drools. Does that seem to be normal? Because I noticed when I put flea medicine on my cats, they totally freak out as if I did something horrible to them. And then they crawl under the bed and they won't come out for a few hours. So it shouldn't hurt them,
It shouldn't hurt them. All of the flea medications that are on the market, especially those that you get from your veterinarian or from an animal health company, should all be safe for your cat. Certainly, I would, if you have any notice that problem continues, I would follow up both with your veterinarian and the manufacturer of your
and
the medication. Exactly. Yeah. That does not sound normal or common to me.
Okay.
So you know, like the hiding that you described. Okay, they're kind of, oh, you put something on me.
Yes.
There's that kind of cat response that I can sort of understand. I mean,
sure.
But the drooling does not sound right. I certainly would follow up with your vet and the company that made the product.
So I'd probably do that today.
Yeah, today, absolutely.
Just in case. Okay.
Could be a sign of toxicity. It's hard to know for sure.
Ah, okay. We have another question from Gina. Thank you, Gina. What's the best way to trim cat's nails?
The best way to trim cat's nails is to make it as relaxed and just make it the least big of a deal as possible. There's a variety of nail trimmers available. Your vet can recommend their favorite. Your local pet store can recommend their favorite. I wish I were at home. I'd show you my favorite, but I'm not. So, but what I do is the nail trimmers that I use, I keep them out. I have a little table next to my favorite chair that Nabisco likes to come and perch on my shoulder, especially in evenings. I just leave them out on that table. That way he's used to seeing them. He doesn't think it's any big deal. So that helps. I certainly give him lots of treats when I'm trimming his nails. Again, that whole idea of positive conditioning. You want it to be a happy, pleasant experience. And certainly, again, relax and calm, given an hour before you're trying to do it, could help. The other thing that is gaining a lot of traction in the cat community is fear-free handling. You may have noticed that's something your veterinary clinic offers, but there's also fear-free handling training for owners. And so if you Google that, you can find that online and do that online training module, and that can really help reduce stressful situations such as nail trims for cats.
So here's a question. Do you even need to trim cat's nails.
Yes. I think, especially those are and here I'm speaking about those that are indoor cats. Scratching is a very normal tendency. If you don't trim your cat's nails, they may have that tendency to scratch on something that's not appropriate, like your furniture. I know I don't want my furniture destroyed.
Sure.
Hopefully you don't either. Maybe you don't care, and that's great. But trimming can help kind of encourage that normal scratching behavior, but also keep your house intact.
Nicole has a question about catnip. Is that something good to give cats? Is it bad? Is it something that maybe only give them once a week?
Catnips can be a lot of fun for cats. Yeah.
Can you overdose?
I've never been asked that question before. That's a great question. I can't imagine that they would. I guess maybe if they actually ate a lot of it. In my experience, cats just roll around in it, sniff it, play with it.
It's interesting because with mine, I only give them catnip more as a treat or like a reward. Kind of like after trimming of the nails, something that could be traumatic to them.
Make it happy.
Yeah, so I don't make it available every day. In fact, it might be once a week. So almost they appreciate it more
as a special treat. Yeah,
but it seems like they kind of get bored. Like after a little
while, they get bored with it. For me, I refresh it. Nabisco really likes a cardboard scratching board. That's his scratching medium of choice, and so about once a month, I'll refresh the catnip on that scratching board for him, and he really likes that. So again, using it, that was a great recommendation to use it kind of as a reward.
Okay, great. Dawn has a question. What do you think about providing grass for indoor cats?
Again, all things in moderation. Certainly they can like to chew on it. Some cats or really dogs too, will chew on grass to kind of settle an upset stomach. So if you're finding your cat chewing on plants and things like that, you might want to investigate some digestive health issues. Again, your veterinarian can help. Honestly, what I might reach for in that situation is our pre and probiotic. See if that kind of helps with their digestive. But is there anything intrinsically wrong? Again, it can make their stomach a little upset if they eat a lot of it, and they might vomit from that. But otherwise, I think it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I get concerned about, like if my cats go out, they're always supervised because I don't want anything to happen, but they'll go out in the backyard, and the only thing I'm skeptical of if they start chewing is if maybe there's chemicals on the grass.
That would be a concern, absolutely. And that's why, if I was thinking about grass, I would think about like a specially potted, I know some of the pet stores carry special cat grass. That's how, if you wanted to give it to your cat as a treat, I would stick to that, because Tabitha's absolutely right. Some of those lawn chemicals and things like that can be toxic to cats.
Okay. We got a question from Nicole. She's asking, is it safe to comb your cat's fur daily?
Yes! It's a great idea. It can be a great way to bond with your cat. We should probably all do it a bit more. And it's also a great way to check to make sure they don't have any fleas or anything like that. So yes, it again ties into their natural grooming behavior. So comb your cat. Do it!
Yeah, sometimes I almost wondered if I brushed them too much, if it would either make their skin like too oily or too dry, but they really appreciate it. I mean, they love it.
If they love it, like I said, it can be a great way to bond with your cat.
Okay, let's see. We got a question from Karen.
Okay.
Let's see. My kitten Mango will be 5 months old tomorrow. I adopted him in July. I think he's a Maine Coon mix because of his features of long hair, long fuzzy tail, and the basic look. He was 3.3 pounds when I adopted him. Just weighed him, and he's 7.5 pounds, 12 inches long. Big boy. He is on Royal Canin kitten food, wet and dry. My concern is with his rapid growth, should I be giving him supplements, or should I worry about joint issues yet?
Those are great questions. It sounds like you're doing great things for your cat. Certainly, it sounds like he's got some large breed cat in him. certainly giving him a multivitamin, we have a cat-specific one here at Tomlyn, can be a great way to support his nutrition as he's growing. I know my puppy Ranger, I've given him a Tomlyn multivitamin, our puppy formula for him as he's been growing, just because he grew so fast. So yeah, that's great. I think the best time to add a joint and hip supplement is when they don't need it, when they're young, and can be before there's a problem. Certainly 5 months old, I'm not super worried about arthritis and those types of things, but as he ages, I certainly would, and we want to start supporting him before he has signs of arthritis. So, you know, it certainly wouldn't hurt him to give him now, or you could wait a few years as he gets a bit older.
Okay. And Dawn has a question, are daily supplements important for cats?
Yes. As much as we all try, every cat is individual, and so meeting the exact nutritional needs of cats to optimize their wellness can be extremely difficult. And what we grab in a bag of commercial cat food, or if you're the type that makes a raw or home cooked diet for your cat, it can be really tough to do it, even with our best intentions, to do it right and get them everything that they need. Just like what Tabitha needs for her optimal wellness may be different from what I need, may be very different from what my 7-year-old mom needs. So yes, animals are individuals, and supplements can be a great way to promote their wellness.
So yeah, one of the questions that popped up is if you have a senior cat or senior animal, basically what's the best supplements for them?
Yeah. I would say the first one that comes to mind immediately, again, in what we touched on a bit earlier about so many cats having arthritis and us not appreciating. I think a recent study that I read said 43 to something like 90% of cats have evidence on x-rays of arthritis that their owners didn't even appreciate. No idea that their cats were in pain or anything like that. So a joint and hip supplement as they're getting older would be a great place to start. A multivitamin, again, especially if they get transitioned to a weight management or that type of diet, can fill in some gaps there. Other supplements are really as your cat needs them. Certainly if you've noticed your cat suffering from upper respiratory issues, immune support supplement can be a great option. If your cat suffers from hairballs, a hairball remedy could help. Those are the ones that come to mind immediately.
Awesome. Well, good. Thank you. We also have a question from Sally. It says, should cats, after 1 year, should they eat wet and dry food?
That is a great question, Sally. Thanks so much for asking. So one of the reasons that we like to feed wet food to our cats is to help get them extra moisture in their diet. One of the most common health abnormalities in cats is renal disease. And so one of the ways we can support them through that is by getting them extra moisture. As a consequence of renal disease is often dehydration. So getting extra moisture into cats certainly can help support that. That said, dry food, I fed my cats pretty much exclusively dry food for the last 15 years. And my last cat lived well into her late teens. And Nabisco's doing great at home on his dry food. So I think to some degree it's a matter of personal preference. What works well for you.
Okay, great. I know there was another question regarding, because you had mentioned the joint product. So let me grab that one.
I was going to say, I think we've got it.
We have a liquid and a chew. So for this is joint and arthritis.
Oh, great. Yeah. So this is our joint and hip product. We're at Tomlyn, we're really excited about this because we have a cat-specific joint and hip product. It's got all kinds of great things in there, including glucosamine. We've got creatine to help rebuild their muscles in it. And we've got collagen in there. And that comes from our greenlet mussel, which brings all kinds of antioxidants, again, to help reduce or I should say not collagen, chondroitin. That comes from the green lip mussel, which is grown off the coast of New Zealand, actually. But it's got lots of antioxidants, helps reduce their inflammation, and you might actually notice that their skin and coat looks better. So this is a really exciting product. It's got a pretty high dose of glucosamine in there. That's a building block for their cartilage to help make their joints all comfortable. So certainly that's a great point. Yeah, it comes in a chew. You can't see it through the package here, but one of my mom's older cats gets the joint and hip chew. He's about 13, and he thinks he's getting a treat.
My cats do too. Yep.
And so his name is Buzz, but his name easily could be Garfield, not just because he's orange. And so that works out well. Another product that we have here at Tomlyn that might help. This is the dog one, but
the muscle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the muscle, joint, and arthritis. And again, this goes in the water like our other natural pet products or natural pet pharmaceuticals products. And so very easy to administer. If your dog drinks out of your cat bowl, vice versa, not a big deal. That can help support joint and muscle health.
Awesome. And then Karen has a question: is 5 months too young for the joint supplement?
No. There's nothing in the joint and hip supplement that would cause a problem at that young age. Hopefully your cat's healthy and wouldn't be suffering from arthritis, but certainly, like I said earlier, the time to treat is now, when before there's a problem. So he certainly could get it.
Awesome.
So would certainly support his joints.
And then Rita has a question: can cats have or suffer from separation like dogs?
Yeah, they can.
Mine do. I know mine do.
Some of those off-kilter litter box behaviors that we were talking about before certainly can be a sign of separation anxiety. A lot of times when people mention that their cat urinated in their favorite shoes or on the bed or something like that, those can all be signs of separation anxiety. The cat doesn't touch the curtains when you're home, but then you leave, shreds the curtains. Again, sign of separation anxiety.
Or meows a lot.
Meows, vocalization certainly could be part of it. Restless behavior certainly could be part of it. Kind of irrational anger. I had one of my previous cats before Nabisco. She would get quite grumpy and angry with me when I would not be home when I was in vet school. So I would be not home for long periods of time, and then she would just attack me. She would attack my dog. So yeah. In a nutshell, yes, they can. Our NPP, anxiety and stress, might be a great option to help with that. Might work well for you. It's a homeopathic remedy. Goes in the water. Very easy to administer. Certainly, if your cat is getting other medications, and your veterinarian, I should mention this. If this is really an ongoing problem for you, your veterinarian can work with you to help you. There are even board-certified veterinary behaviorists that really can help get to the bottom of some of these behavioral problems if it goes to that extreme. So there is help out there.
We have a question from Kasten. She says she has 2 cats with asthma and was wondering if we could recommend any supplements that may help. Or even maybe a veterinarian has, or...
Yeah, asthma's a tricky one. It is a well-established problem in cats. If you're not familiar what asthma is, it's inflammation of the airways in the lungs. And so, I would say an allergy formula might be able to help with that. Certainly, our NPP, we have the... allergies for dogs.
Let me get this.
Yeah, that certainly you could would be okay to administer to dogs, cats. This could help. There's a lot of evidence that asthma in cats can be triggered by allergies. Again, environmental control. I should be probably emphasizing this more than I am. The same thing that triggers allergies in people can trigger allergies in cats. So having a nice, clean environment, and if you have a smoker in your house, trying to manage that. Anything that would trigger allergies in people, smoke, other irritants, if you use a lot of fragrances or room deodorizers, that sort of thing, that can all be triggers. Poorly ventilated spaces, again, can be triggers. Dust, those types of things can certainly be triggers. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and there's another question from Nicole. Is can cats get illness from the cold weather?
Yes, they certainly can. Much like people or dogs or horses or anything else, cats can be susceptible to viruses. The best thing to do is to keep your cats away from other cats. That's the safest thing, or I should say commingling environments. So the same type of, if you're boarding your cat, that might make them predisposed. Usually the reason we get sick in the winter is not the cold itself makes us sick, it's our exposure. Either we're exposed to something, we're immunosuppressed from whatever reason, stress, lack of sleep, whatever else might cause us a concurrent disease. Those kinds of things can all set up your cat for to get a cold. Most of them tend to be mild, self-limiting, shouldn't really require veterinary care. If it doesn't go away in a short period of time, I certainly would seek out the advice of your vet.
And even such as like L-lysine could help with immune support.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And what may manifest itself as a cold may be actually that feline herpes that we talked about a bit earlier. It's herpes is for life, much like sometimes we joke about in people. The virus is quite similar. It lives in nerves, so once a cat has it, it's going to have it for the rest of their life. Stress can cause a cat to flare. So it never really goes away. We just hope to manage it. So lysine, be it in our immune support product. Yep. Our powder, we've got the chews, but we're soon to have the gel. Could be a great solution for you.
Awesome. And all these can be found at pet stores, your local pet store.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Another question that we have is, are there dental treats for cats that help with teeth cleaning?
There are. I think that's one of those I'm going to defer to your local pet store for. Your veterinarian might also have recommendations that that they like. But yeah.
And I think it depends too on, like, if you're talking about tartar for cleaning or if it's bad breath, as well, because we have...
Oh, you're right. We do have the oral... Thank you, Tabitha. The oral health. And this can help with a whole variety of symptoms. It can help with bad breath, the bleeding gums, some toothache type problems, those types of things. Again, it's very easy to administer. Just go straight in your water. And it can be a great solution. Certainly if it's a persistent problem, I would follow up with your veterinarian.
Okay, great. And then we have another question from, Nicole asked if the chews are flavored. And I think she was probably talking about the immune support. If you're talking about the immune support, yes, it's the smoky fish flavor. And my cats absolutely love it. I give my cats either, I give one of them the chew, and I actually give the other one the powder in the food, because it was just so much easier for me. We have another question that, is it better to get scented or unscented litter for your cats? Or does it matter?
I was going to say that is a cat preference sort of situation. Harkening back to my vet school days, I think I have a behavior yapping in the back of my brain that's saying that generally unscented litter is better, but really it's a matter of cat preference. My cat doesn't care. I'm so lucky. Nabisco doesn't care. But some cats are quite picky, and they really do care. And certainly if you're having urinary health issues, if you're having litter box issues, I would try working with your local pet store to find a different solution, and an unscented litter might be a great way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of them, I mean, sometimes it's a texture issue. Some of them won't use, I've heard of cats that won't use clumping, but will use cat litter that doesn't clump. Some of them like the shredded newspaper products. Some of them like the pine products. It's their world. Good luck.
We have another question regarding bathing cats. Someone really doesn't want fleas. So she bathes her cat monthly and applies a topical. Is it also necessary to use a collar?
I think,
flea collar.
Yeah, that's a great question. This question is about addressing fleas in cats. I think it sounds like you're doing everything right. Bathing cat monthly would be a great option. There's certainly if you're using a product that's labeled for a flea control, that would be a great shampoo to use for those baths. The topical flea product should cover you, especially if it's one that you've gotten either from your veterinarian or on the advice of your veterinarian. You shouldn't need a flea collar if you're doing those things, but you know your cat and your cat's risk best. If you do notice signs of fleas, I certainly would recommend environmental management. Work with your veterinarian to figure out how to get fleas out of your house, and you should be good to go.
So Don just asked a really good question. Do you need to use flea meds even though the cats don't go outside? I know from me personally, mine usually don't go outside. And in fact, when one of them went for a checkup last year, they were looking at her rear end and they're like, oh, wow, she must have some type of fleas or something. But it's actually when she had gotten, I guess, bit by a flea that maybe I had brought in.
I was going to say, Tabitha's hitting on it. Even though cats don't go outside, fleas don't follow the rules. They can be in the soil. If you've got a dog that does go outside, they can bring them in even if they're not infected. They can be on them transiently. So, yeah, the safest... There's so many infectious diseases that are transmitted by fleas. The safest thing to do is, even if your cat's an indoor cat, to have them on flea prevention.
Okay.
Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, because same with me. It's like I really, when the vet said, oh, well, she must have been bitten by a flea because it was the way when her stool came out, it clumped, and I guess it was a parasite or something.
Something in it, yep.
Yep, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, she doesn't go outside, so she doesn't have fleas, and then that's when the vet said, well...
Not so easy. They can hide in the soil, they can come in on your shoe, it's...
Yeah, okay. That's good feedback.
Same with mosquitoes. People ask that question commonly. Does my cat and dog, do they need to be on heartworm prevention? My cat never goes outside. You know, I live in Minnesota. There's no mosquitoes in the winter. Mosquitoes hide in all kinds of crazy places, under, in garages, under dark little warm crawl spaces, all those kinds of things. Mosquitoes don't, if you've got your window open for a half an hour, they can fly in. Screens aren't perfect. They can come in when you open the door. So yes, that's another one where I really do recommend that cats and dogs stay on flea as well as heartworm prevention because of the risk with mosquitoes. Again, your veterinarian can adapt things to your particular environmental situation the best, but that's my broad veterinary wisdom for you.
Oh, that's good. Is it true that fleas can cause worms?
Yes, that's exactly what Tabitha was getting at earlier. Fleas can carry intestinal parasites, and that's how they get transmitted. So, yep.
Yes, unfortunately, right?
Unfortunately.
Oh.
But it's a good reminder, because even if your cat doesn't have fleas, when you take them in for the regular wellness exams, take a stool sample with you. Because you may not think you have a parasite problem, but unless you check, you won't know for sure.
Great. And then we also got, let me clear this out real quick. Nicole asked if the products are flavored. Yes, depending on what the product is. So with the immune support, they're definitely the fish flavor. The new gel that we have coming out, this is actually maple flavor. And I know a lot of people are like, maple flavor for cats. What? Cats actually really love the maple flavor. It's a sweet taste.
It's one of our best that we have for our hairball remedy. You probably can't see it up close, but it's one of our best sellers of our hairball remedy. So.
Yes. Yeah, and then if you were asking in regards to any of the NPP, the all-natural products, these are not flavored. Yep. You just put a little capful in the water when you change it. So if you only change your water 3 or 4 times a week, you only put it in that time, and it literally just tastes like water. So there's no additional flavor.
if for whatever reason you don't want to put it in the water, you can put it on their food or on a treat. That'll work as well.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing if there's any more. Looks like Jackie had a question.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like Jackie has a question about eosinophilic granuloma complex. Is there a supplement for that to help her skin? Unfortunately, that's a tough...
what is that, I guess?
It is a skin condition that can often affect usually I think of their nose and their face, but it can show up on other parts of their body as well. Pretty nasty, kind of almost raw appearance to their face. I am sorry your cat's struggling with that, Jackie. Ugh, I don't envy you. It can be caused by a variety of problems, fleas being one of the most common. In a nutshell, I really think that your veterinarian has the best management plan for them, or they may even need to partner, because it's such a tricky disease to treat, with a board-certified veterinary dermatologist. So that would be your best bet, and my advice, good luck.
Yeah.
Those lesions can be very, very painful for cats. So, like I said, good luck and sending hugs to your kitty for that one.
Oh, yeah. And Nicole has a question. What's the most common dental issues?
So, dental issues, the most common I would say are just kind of routine tartar problems that we can see with dogs, cats, and people. Even horses, honestly, but mostly dogs, cats, and people. So that would be a common. There's a couple of viruses that come to mind that can cause some oral health ulcerations in their mouth. Those are tricky, complex diseases that certainly would require veterinary care. Some cats, again, can have a disease that could cause their teeth to resorb. It's a really terrible disease, but can be managed with extractions and things like that. So those would be the most common dental diseases. So routine preventative care is always the best. Your veterinarian can help develop a plan, hopefully with routine brushings, but also dental prophylaxis at their visits. So
awesome. Well, good deal. Well, we've been chatting with you guys for about an hour. We really appreciate you chiming in. And thank you, Dawn and Rita and Nicole and everyone who submitted questions. We really appreciate it. And we will schedule another live event that you can ask us questions. And again, if there's anything else that we can help you with, please don't hesitate to either email us, Facebook message us, call us directly, and we're here to help. Yep. So thank you so much, and we hope that you have a fantastic week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.